Gentlemen, what if I told you that the reason your erections have weakened has nothing to do with your age, your desire, or even your effort? And what if I told you that the supplement most men over 60 are swallowing every single night, magnesium, is doing absolutely nothing to bring back your manhood? That's right. You could take magnesium for the next 100 nights and still wake up frustrated, softer, and more disappointed than the night before. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera. I've spent over 3 decades as a urologist dedicated to helping men reclaim their strength, their vitality, and yes, their intimacy. I've sat with thousands of men who believed their best days were behind them, only to watch them come back to life when they discovered the truth I'm about to share. Because here's the paradox. You've been told that magnesium supports your muscles and your health, but when it comes to your erections, magnesium is almost irrelevant. In fact, by focusing on it, you may be ignoring the real keys to restoring your manhood. 2 vitamins that work while you sleep, not while you're awake. And here's my promise to you. These 2 vitamins, taken at the right time, before bed, can revive your blood flow, restore your testosterone surge, and bring your erections back to life, even if you're 70, 80, or 85. Stay with me until the end because I'll also reveal the 3 common supplements you must never take at night if you truly want to revive your penis and restore your confidence as a man. Before we dive in, if you haven't already subscribed, I encourage you to do so now and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another men's health lesson designed especially for you. And let me ask you a quick favor. If you truly want to revive your erections, type the number 1 in the comments. If you feel I need to do better, type 0 so I know how to improve these videos for you. Now, let's get into the truth that most men overlook. Your penis, like every muscle and vessel in your body, does most of its repair work while you sleep. And if you don't give it the right support at night, no amount of effort during the day will matter. 1. The secret of nighttime repair. Most men never realize that the true repair of their manhood doesn't happen during the day. You can exercise, eat well, and even take every supplement you can find on the shelf, but if your body isn't repairing itself properly at night, your erections will still remain weak and unreliable. I've seen this countless times in my own patients. They would come to me frustrated, saying, "Doctor, I'm doing everything I can. Why isn't it working?" And after a few simple tests, the truth became clear. Their bodies weren't taking advantage of the most powerful hours of natural healing. Between 11 at night and 3 in the morning, your body enters its deepest phase of recovery. Blood flow increases, hormones surge, and tissues begin repairing the damage from the day. This is when your penis should be restoring its smooth muscle fibers and reinforcing the ability to trap blood, which is the very foundation of a strong erection. Without this nightly process, no pill or powder taken in the daylight can bring back the manhood you once knew. I remember a gentleman in his late 70s who told me he thought his best years were over. But once he learned to focus on what his body needed at night, his morning erections began to return within weeks. He looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "Doctor, I finally feel like myself again." That's the power of honoring the body's nighttime repair window. So, if you've been discouraged, I want you to know it's not too late. Your body still holds the blueprint for renewal, but you must fuel it correctly before you sleep. And that's exactly where the first vitamin comes in. A nutrient so vital to your erections that men with low levels have up to a 60% higher risk of dysfunction. Let me show you why vitamin D3 is the true activator of nighttime repair. 2. Vitamin number 1. Vitamin D3, the erection activator. When I talk with older men about their health, most of them are shocked when I tell them how powerful vitamin D3 truly is for their manhood. They think of it as the sunshine vitamin, something for bones or maybe immune health. But very few realize how directly it fuels erections. As you drift into deep sleep, vitamin D3 locks into special receptors in your penile tissue, almost like a key fitting perfectly into a lock. Once that key turns, your body begins pulling in calcium and phosphorus, minerals that strengthen the smooth muscle fibers inside your penis. Those fibers are what give your erections their firmness and staying power. And without them, blood simply slips away too quickly. But vitamin D3 does even more than that. It sparks your body's own production of testosterone at night. I've seen this transformation firsthand. A man in his early 70s came to me embarrassed to admit that he hadn't had a strong erection in years. His blood test revealed critically low vitamin D levels. Within 3 months of taking the right dose before bed, his testosterone climbed, his morning erections returned, and he told me, "Doctor, I feel like 20 years younger." That moment reminded me of why I chose this work. It's not about numbers on a chart. It's about giving men back the part of their lives they thought was gone. Forever. The truth is, most seniors are dangerously low in vitamin D because our skin loses the ability to absorb sunlight as we age. And food alone rarely provides enough. That's why supplementation at night is so powerful. It works in harmony with your body's natural repair cycle. Taken with an evening meal that contains healthy fats, it can make the difference between frustration and fulfillment. But don't think vitamin D3 alone is enough. It's only half of the equation. There is another mineral just as essential that acts as the ignition switch for testosterone and recovery. Without it, your body's repair process slows to a crawl, and no amount of vitamin D3 can fully restore your erections. That mineral is zinc. And it's the missing piece we need to talk about next. 3. Vitamin number 2. Zinc, the testosterone igniter. If vitamin D3 is the activator, then zinc is the spark that keeps the engine of your manhood running. I've often told my patients that you can think of zinc as the ignition switch for testosterone. Without it, your body simply cannot fire up the very hormones that give you strength, energy, and firm erections. I remember one gentleman, a retired teacher in his late 70s, who came to me frustrated beyond words. He was eating well, taking his protein, and even following my advice on vitamin D, but he still felt flat. No energy, no desire, no improvement in the bedroom. When we checked his labs, the answer was clear. His zinc levels were far too low. You see, zinc controls more than 300 enzymes in your body, all working silently to rebuild tissues while you sleep. During deep sleep, your testes rely on zinc to release testosterone, and without it, the entire repair process grinds to a halt. This is why so many men wake up tired, sore, and without morning erections, because their body simply doesn't have the fuel it needs to recover. After we placed that retired teacher on a simple zinc supplement, the change was astonishing. Within weeks, he told me, "Doctor, I haven't felt this alive in 20 years." His eyes lit up and you could hear the pride in his voice. That's what zinc can do. It gives back not only physical strength, but also dignity and confidence. The truth is, nearly 40% of older men are zinc deficient, and most have no idea. Food alone often isn't enough, and yet this one mineral can completely change the course of your nights. I recommend taking 15 to 30 milligrams with a glass of water about 2 hours before bed, so your body can use it at the exact time it needs most. But here's the catch. Even if you take vitamin D and zinc faithfully, you could still be sabotaging your erections without realizing it. Because there are 3 common supplements most seniors take at night that actually shut down this repair process. And the worst part, you've probably taken at least one of them this week. 4. Why magnesium fails. For years, men have been told that magnesium is the secret mineral for strength, calm, and better sleep. I can't tell you how many patients have come into my office proudly holding their bottle of magnesium pills, convinced it was the answer to their problems in the bedroom. They looked at me with hope in their eyes saying, "Doctor, I've been taking this every night, but nothing is changing. Why?" And I had to tell them the hard truth.
Magnesium may help your muscles and relax, and help you drift off to sleep, but it does very little for the very thing you want most, reviving your erections. Here's why. Erections are not just about relaxation. They are about blood flow, testosterone, and the strength of the smooth muscle fibers inside your penis. Magnesium doesn't ignite testosterone. It doesn't strengthen those fibers. It doesn't push amino acids or nutrients into your penile tissue where they are needed most. At best, it helps you feel calm. At worst, it distracts you from the real nutrients like vitamin D3 and zinc that actually fuel the repair and rebuilding of your manhood while you sleep. I remember a man in his late 80s who told me he had been swallowing magnesium faithfully for years. He believed it would keep his body and his manhood strong. Yet, when we tested his